My friends, I want to talk to you today about the quiet power of diligence and dedication. You see, in this world, we are often tempted to broadcast our every effort, to let the world know how hard we are working. We live in a time where the noise around us can be deafening. Voices telling us to seek recognition, to crave approval, to desire applause. But let me tell you, there is a deeper and more rewarding way. There is a strength in working silently. When you dedicate yourself to the task at hand without seeking the praise of men, something remarkable happens. The work itself begins to shape you. It builds your character, your resilience, and your wisdom. You are not distracted by the fleeting affirmation of others, but instead you are focused on the greater purpose that you know lies ahead. You know, the Bible tells us that everything we do as unto the Lord, not for human approval. It is in the quiet moments of discipline, when no one is watching, that the seeds of true success are planted. The world may not notice your effort today. People may overlook your hard work, your sacrifices, and your perseverance. But don't be discouraged by that. Success is not measured by the applause of the crowd. It is measured by the depth of your commitment to what is right. When you keep your head down, stay faithful, and continue working toward your goals, success will speak for itself in time. And that success, when it comes, will be pure. It will not be tainted by pride or arrogance, because you will know the journey it took to get there. You will understand that it wasn't the approval of others that sustained you. It was your faith, your integrity, and your willingness to keep going even when the world was silent. So as you go about your work, remain steadfast. Don't seek the spotlight, but let your actions be your testimony. Let the quality of your work speak louder than any words you could say, because in the end, it is not about how loudly we proclaim our efforts, but about the quiet strength that carries us through to the finish line. Stay faithful to the process and trust that success will come in its own time, making its noise when the moment is right. The power of silent effort. True strength comes from working diligently without seeking immediate recognition or applause. Character is built in private. The real reward of hard work is the growth it brings within you, not just external success. Work for a greater purpose. Success is not about impressing people, but about being faithful to your calling and doing your best. Stay focused and trust the process. Do not get discouraged if your work goes unnoticed. In time, results will speak for themselves. True success is pure and humble. When success comes, it should be a reflection of your dedication, not a pursuit of approval. Let actions speak louder than words. Instead of seeking the spotlight, let the quality of your work be your testimony. In a world that constantly demands attention, where people are quick to showcase their achievements and seek validation from others, there is immense power in silent effort. Too often, individuals become caught up in the need to announce their progress, believing that recognition is a necessary part of success. But the truth is, real progress is made in the moments when no one is watching. It is in the quiet, behind closed doors, in the early mornings and late nights of hard work, that true excellence is forged. There is something profoundly meaningful about putting in the effort without expecting immediate praise. The greatest accomplishments in history were not born out of a desire for applause, but out of a deep commitment to the work itself. When a farmer plants a seed, he does not dig it up every day to show others its growth. He waters it, nurtures it, and trusts that in time it will break through the soil. The same principle applies to life. Those who focus on their work rather than on public approval will ultimately see the greatest rewards. Silence in work does not mean a lack of effort. In fact, it is the opposite. It is a sign of discipline, patience, and an unwavering belief in the process. Many people are eager to broadcast their struggles and efforts, hoping that others will acknowledge them. But the most successful individuals understand that the reward is not in the announcement of work, but in the completion of it. The world does not need to see every step of the journey to recognize the outcome. When effort is consistent, the results will inevitably speak for themselves. This approach also protects the heart from the dangers of pride and distraction. When people work only for recognition, their motivation becomes fragile. They are easily discouraged when applause fades, and they may even alter their path to gain approval rather than staying true to their purpose. But when someone works silently, their motivation is deeply rooted in something greater. They are not swayed by the opinions of others, but remain committed to their calling, knowing that the fruit of their labor will come in due time. Moreover, silent work builds resilience. When no one is watching, there is no pressure to prove anything to anyone. Mistakes can be made, lessons can be learned, and skills can be refined without the fear of judgment. This allows for true growth and mastery as the focus remains on improvement rather than on perception. Every great achievement begins in obscurity. The greatest athletes, artists, leaders, and visionaries all had seasons of quiet dedication before the world recognized their greatness. They were not concerned with proving their efforts. They were consumed with perfecting their craft. And when the time was right, success spoke louder than any words ever could. Those who embrace this principle will find that their work, done with sincerity and diligence, will one day shine so brightly that no announcement will be necessary. Character is not built in the moments of recognition, but in the unseen hours of discipline, struggle, and perseverance. It is in the quiet, when no one is watching, that a person's true nature is shaped. The world often celebrates results, but the process behind those results remains hidden. Yet it is in that process where hard work, sacrifice, and determination are tested that real growth happens. Character is not something that can be instantly acquired. It is developed over time through choices made in solitude, away from the eyes of the world. When people focus solely on external success, they may achieve temporary recognition, but without a strong foundation of character, that success can be fragile. Many individuals rise quickly, only to fall just as fast because their success was not built on integrity, patience, or resilience. True character is revealed in how a person conducts themselves when there is no audience, when there is no applause, and when the journey feels long and unrewarding. It is in these moments that a person's inner strength is refined. The ability to remain steadfast, to keep pushing forward despite setbacks, and to uphold values even when no one is there to acknowledge them. This is what separates those who endure from those who fade away. The greatest accomplishments in history were achieved by those who remained committed to their work long before the world took notice. Athletes spend years training in silence before they step onto a grand stage. Musicians practice endlessly before they perform for an audience. Leaders make countless sacrifices before they are ever entrusted with great responsibility. Their success is not an accident. It is the result of unseen effort, of battles fought in the quiet, and of a commitment to growth that was never dependent on recognition. Character also determines how a person handles success when it comes. Without a strong foundation, success can lead to arrogance, complacency, or a false sense of security. But when success is built on character, it remains grounded in humility. Those who have labored in silence understand the value of the journey. They know what it took to get there, and they are not easily swayed by pride or external validation. Instead, they continue to work with the same diligence, knowing that success is not a final destination, but a continuous process of growth. Difficult times are what truly reveal character. When challenges arise, when progress is slow, and when obstacles seem insurmountable, a person's true nature is tested. Those who have built their character in private will not be shaken by hardship, because they have already endured struggle in the unseen moments of their journey. They do not waver when difficulties come, because they have already learned the value of perseverance, patience, and faithfulness. The strength of a person's character is not determined by how they act when the spotlight is on them, but by the countless decisions they make when no one is looking. Work takes on a different meaning when it is done for a higher purpose rather than for human approval. Many people spend their lives chasing recognition, believing that their worth is measured by how many people applaud them. But true fulfillment is not found in the opinions of others. It is found in knowing that the work being done has a deeper meaning. When someone commits themselves to their calling with sincerity and dedication, their motivation is no longer tied to validation. Instead, they are driven by something far greater than temporary praise. The world often rewards those who seek the spotlight, but the most meaningful work is usually done in quiet dedication. A doctor saving lives in the middle of the night, a teacher shaping young minds in a classroom, a parent sacrificing for their children. These are the kinds of efforts that may not always be noticed, but have lasting significance. When work is done with purpose rather than for applause, it creates an impact that goes far beyond personal recognition. It is not about impressing others. It is about making a real difference, even if no one sees it. There is great freedom in working for a purpose rather than for approval. Those who seek only recognition are easily discouraged when they do not receive it. They may question their efforts, doubt their path, or even give up when applause fades. But those who work for something greater remain steadfast. They are not swayed by whether others acknowledge their efforts, because they understand that their work has value regardless of who notices it. They do not need constant affirmation to stay motivated, because their purpose is deeply rooted in something unshakable. This mindset also allows a person to work with excellence, even in the smallest of tasks. When someone is driven by external validation, they may only give their best when they believe others are watching. But when work is done for a higher purpose, there is no need to cut corners, seek shortcuts, or do the bare minimum. Every effort is approached with care, integrity, and a sense of responsibility, because it is not about proving anything to others. It is about staying true to the calling that has been placed in their hands. Success that is pursued for the wrong reasons often feels empty when it is finally achieved. Many people reach great heights only to realize that recognition alone does not bring fulfillment. But when work is done with sincerity and for a meaningful purpose, the rewards go far beyond applause. There is a deep sense of satisfaction in knowing that the effort put forth was not wasted, that it contributed to something greater, and that it made a difference in a way that truly matters. When work is approached with this perspective, it becomes a source of joy rather than stress. There is no longer a need to compete for attention or to seek validation from others. Instead, there is a quiet confidence that the work itself is valuable, and that is more than enough. The journey toward success is often long and filled with challenges, and one of the greatest tests along the way is the ability to stay focused and trust the process. Many people start with enthusiasm, but when results do not come immediately, they begin to doubt themselves. They look around and see others achieving success more quickly, and they wonder if their efforts are in vain. But true success is never instant. It is built step by step, day by day, through consistency, perseverance, and faith in the process. The world moves at a fast pace, and society often promotes the idea that success must be immediate. People see highlights of others' achievements and assume that their own progress is too slow. But what they fail to see are the years of preparation, the sacrifices, and the struggles that came before the victory. Every great achievement has a process behind it, and those who reach the highest levels of success are the ones who remain committed even when it seemed like nothing was happening. There will always be moments when doubt creeps in, when the results seem too far away, and when the temptation to give up becomes strong. But those who succeed are the ones who understand that setbacks are a part of the journey. Just because progress is not visible does not mean it is not happening. Growth often takes place beneath the surface, just like a seed buried in the soil. It may seem like nothing is changing, but roots are being established, and when the time is right, the results will become clear. Comparison is one of the greatest enemies of focus. When people constantly measure their progress against others, they lose sight of their own path. Each journey is unique, and what works for one person may not be the right approach for another. The key is to remain focused on personal growth, to trust that hard work will pay off in its own time, and to avoid the distraction of seeking shortcuts or validation. The ones who achieve lasting success are not necessarily the most talented or the fastest, but the ones who refuse to quit. Patience and faith go hand in hand. It takes patience to continue working without seeing immediate results, and it takes faith to believe that the effort is not wasted. Many give up just before their breakthrough, not realizing how close they were to success. But those who stay the course, who keep working even when no one is watching, and who trust the process even when the results are not yet visible, are the ones who will ultimately see their efforts rewarded. Success is not about how quickly it comes, but about how well it is built. The strongest foundations take time to establish, and the most meaningful achievements require persistence. The process may be slow and the journey may be difficult, but those who remain dedicated, who trust in their work, and who refuse to be discouraged by temporary setbacks will find that in the end, their efforts were never in vain. Success, when built on the right foundation, remains pure and humble. Many people chase after recognition, believing that success is defined by how much attention they receive. But success that is based on external validation is fragile. It can lead to arrogance, a false sense of superiority, and a constant need for approval. True success, however, is different. It is not about proving anything to others, but about knowing that the effort put in was honest, meaningful, and rooted in integrity. When success is achieved without humility, it can become a burden rather than a blessing. People who base their identity on achievements often struggle when the applause fades. They begin to crave more recognition, constantly seeking the next moment of validation. But those who have worked quietly, who have focused on the process rather than the spotlight, understand that success is not about proving oneself. It is about fulfilling a purpose. They do not need constant approval because they have built their success on something deeper than recognition. Humble success is also lasting success. Many people rise quickly, but if their success is built on pride and ego, they often fall just as fast. Without humility, success can blind a person to their weaknesses, making them believe they are above failure. But those who remain humble never stop learning, growing, and improving. They understand that success is not a final destination, but an ongoing journey, and they approach it with gratitude rather than entitlement. There is also a responsibility that comes with success. Those who achieve great things have the opportunity to uplift others, to serve and to make a difference beyond themselves. But if success is driven by personal pride, it becomes self-centered. When success is built on humility, it is used for a greater purpose. Instead of seeking to be admired, humble individuals seek to inspire. Instead of using success as a way to elevate themselves, they use it as a tool to help others rise. Success that is pure is not defined by wealth, fame, or status, but by the impact it has. There are many people who may never receive public recognition, yet have achieved true success because they have lived with integrity, worked with diligence, and remained humble through it all. Their success is not measured by applause, but by the difference they make in the lives of others, by the legacy they leave, and by the way they carry themselves with grace, no matter how high they rise. The test of true success is not how much attention it brings, but how well a person remains grounded in the face of it. Those who have worked in silence, who have built their success with patience and perseverance, are not easily swayed by pride. They know that their journey was not about proving anything to the world, but about staying true to their purpose. They remain humble, grateful, and committed to their work, understanding that success is not something to be displayed, but something to be lived out with integrity and meaning. Actions have always been more powerful than words. In a world where people constantly talk about their goals, their dreams, and their efforts, it is easy to get caught up in speaking rather than doing. Many people spend more time announcing their plans than actually working on them, hoping that by sharing their ambitions they will gain approval or motivation. But real success is not built on words. It is built on quiet, consistent action. Those who let their work speak for itself do not need to convince anyone of their dedication, because their results will make it clear. When someone is truly committed to their goals, they do not waste time seeking validation from others. Instead, they channel all their energy into improving, learning, and moving forward. They are not concerned with whether people notice their progress, because they understand that true growth happens behind the scenes. Talking about success does not create it. Effort, discipline, and persistence do. Those who focus on action rather than words develop a strength that cannot be shaken by external opinion. There is a certain power in quiet progress. When people work in silence without seeking attention, they develop a strong foundation. They learn from their failures without fear of judgment. They refine their skills without distractions. They build something real, something that cannot be taken away by the fleeting opinions of others. When success finally comes, it is not an accident. It is the natural result of years of effort, dedication, and resilience. And when that success speaks, it speaks loudly, not because it was announced, but because it was earned. Those who constantly seek recognition for their efforts often lose focus on what truly matters. Instead of concentrating on their work, they spend their time trying to impress others. But those who are genuinely passionate about what they do do not need to prove anything. They are not working for applause. They are working for excellence. They understand that greatness is achieved not by talking about it, but by committing to the process day after day. Patience is a key part of this mindset. Many people want instant results and immediate praise, but real success takes time. It requires endurance, faith, and a willingness to keep going, even when no one notices. Those who stay faithful to their work, who continue improving even in silence, will one day see their efforts pay off. And when they do, their results will be undeniable. The greatest leaders, inventors, and achievers in history did not spend their time trying to prove themselves to others. They spent their time creating, building, and perfecting their craft. They did not need to announce their greatness because their work did it for them. Their success became their voice, speaking volumes more than words ever could. That same principle applies to anyone who is willing to stay focused, work with integrity, and trust that in the end, their actions will always be the loudest testimony of their dedication. Success is never about how loudly one proclaims their efforts. It is about the quiet, unseen moments of dedication, persistence, and faith. The world may celebrate the final achievement, but the true journey happens long before the applause. It is in the silent hours of hard work, the struggles that no one sees, and the sacrifices that are made without recognition. Those who understand this principle are the ones who build something lasting, something meaningful, something that does not rely on external validation, but on inner strength and unwavering commitment. There is no need to prove anything to the world when actions speak louder than words. The temptation to seek attention, to announce every step forward is strong, but true confidence comes from knowing that success will reveal itself in due time. Just as a tree grows in silence before it bears fruit, so too does real achievement take root long before it becomes visible. The ones who are willing to work without constant recognition, who trust the process even when progress seems slow, are the ones who ultimately reach the greatest heights. Many people spend their lives chasing approval, measuring their worth by how much praise they receive. But the most fulfilled individuals are not those who seek attention. They are the ones who focus on their purpose, who understand that their work is valuable, whether or not others acknowledge it. The satisfaction of knowing that every effort was made with sincerity, every challenge faced with perseverance, and every step taken with integrity is far greater than any temporary applause. Success built on the right foundation does not fade. It is not dependent on trends, popularity, or fleeting recognition. It stands firm because it was created through patience, discipline, and an unshakable belief in the work itself. Those who achieve greatness without arrogance, who remain humble despite their accomplishments, and who continue to work even after success arrives, are the ones who leave the greatest impact. Their success is not just for themselves. It becomes an inspiration for others, a testament to the power of persistence and silent effort. The world may not always notice the journey, but it will notice the results. And when those results come, they will speak for themselves. There will be no need to explain, to justify, or to seek validation, because the success will be undeniable. It will stand as proof of the hard work, the dedication, and the quiet resilience that made it possible. The process may be long, the road may be difficult, but in the end, those who remain steadfast, who focus on their craft rather than the noise around them, will find that their success makes more noise than words ever could. There is power in working in silence, There is strength in trusting the process. There is fulfillment in knowing that the effort put in was real, that the growth was genuine, and that the success, when it comes, is the natural result of unwavering dedication. Those who understand this principle will never feel the need to seek attention because their work, their results, and their legacy will speak for them in a way that words never can.